Welcome back to Unplugged. NBA villains. I've known a few. I've seen a few. When you think about it, you probably think Draymond is probably the current villain. You've seen KD wear that cape for a while, obviously for different reasons. But Giannis has been tripping lately. From the incident he had with the reporter.
In the paint, hey man, if you don't want to be here, you can leave. If you don't want to be here, you can leave. I'm being honest with you.
To yesterday's game, I'm not saying he intentionally went on Jason Tatum's foot, but he's done it before. No foul call. Jason Tatum took offense to it and obviously said, he needs to be protected. Could have been out for a long time. Elbowing Jaylen Brown and then giving him the too fast or too slow whoop. I'm just saying right now, if someone did that to me, that's an offense for a slap. But we're definitely gonna keep the peace. But this weird behavior isn't very surprising. I mean, Giannis has a track record of doing some questionable stuff if you look back, and obviously, I think the way this team has been playing, it might be driving him a little crazy. He might be tripping a little bit. 2-8. They beat the two record-wise worst teams in the league, Philly being one and Utah being the other. Middleton's hurt, coming off double ankle surgery. He hasn't been available. Brook Lopez is getting older. Portis, his numbers are down from last year. Giannis and Dame are playing great, but are they a good duo together? Obviously the Jrue Holiday loss has been very big and understated, but it's been a tough start for the Milwaukee Bucks thus far. Which brings me to my next question. And I'm not trying to stir no shit up, but you've heard whispers, the weird behavior. Is Giannis want out of Milwaukee? Small market team. He's won him a championship. He's won of an MVP. His brother's not in that locker room right now. Doc Rivers was, hailed to be the savior. His record is 19-27 in the past two seasons as the Bucks head coach. When you think Adrian Griffin was 30-11 and let go, Bud got them a championship, and then he was let go 2 years after that. So Giannis has done a lot of great things for the city of Milwaukee. Kept them relevant for a while. But obviously this past year, Giannis had to watch his former teammate and running mate, Jrue Holiday, win an NBA title with Boston. So the question to me, as I bring in my brother Trevor Ariza, Trev, under 30, MVP, world champion. Obviously, the team wouldn't move him. This is strictly a Giannis decision. Do you see, could Giannis's time just mentally be up in Milwaukee?
From the looks of it, it looks like it. But to me personally, he's just on bunk right now.
He's on bunk. I have a question. So if a motherfucker elbowed you and then gave you the too fast, what would you do? Probably similar to what I do.
Probably.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's crazy.
That is crazy. Like I said, he's on bunk. He's doing uncharacteristic things.
Right.
He's doing things more than likely out of frustration.
Mm-hmm.
But still, that's no excuse. A player who's a former MVP, a player who knows what it takes to get to the championship and win. You got to find ways to help your team win, because the way that they're playing right now, it falls on him.
Best player.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still early. I mean, we're 10 games in the season, so I hate when people are drastic. The season's over. They need to try. I'm not saying all that, but do you see light at the end of the tunnel? You know what I mean? The East is really up in the air right now. I think only 2 or 3 teams are above 500, so there's obviously still time for them to turn this around. But the pieces, Brook Lopez is getting older. You know, they lost some key pieces, whether it be Jrue Holiday, the PJ Tucker from that championship team, Middleton, double ankle surgery. He was that consistent Robin to Giannis's Batman. Like, although Dame's playing really well, they don't seem as compatible as you thought they would maybe. So if Giannis does decide to say, hey, my time is up here, Trev, let's take a look at a few teams that possibly could have something for him. Obviously Paul touched on the OKC situation. Chet just got hurt, but Chet's having a great season. Jalen Williams, that to me is a future all-star, and they have a ton of picks, so that could potentially be a situation. Could you see Giannis playing side by side with SGA?
Man, I could see Giannis is one of those players you can just put anywhere. But again, if you trade him, you're gonna have to trade your mom. You have to trade every player on the team.
Well, if you think about it, what Bridges got, did Bridges get 5 first-round picks, right?
Yeah.
And that's no knock, but that's just with them. So if Bridges is 5, I'm thinking Giannis is your daughter, your son. Those 2 houses, those 2 off-season houses.
Exactly.
Like
so, and are you willing to give part ways with everything that you got? I don't know. And to me, Oklahoma City has been on the verge of doing good things with the way that they draft and,
trade,
the way that they trade.
They built the right way.
Yeah.
Houston, obviously Sengun kind of came out of nowhere, but is a fixture in this league. He just got a big deal. Jalen Green and all his talent, they have picks that can possibly be a running mate. And then you see the San Antonios with a lot of young talent. Golden State, is a team we're going to talk about in a second, but, obviously they didn't sign Kuminga to the extension. He wanted a max, and they didn't feel like he was at a max, but they have him hand picks. Again, I hate the overreaction. It's 10 games a season. Right. By no means are we saying this, but, just kind of keep your eye on that situation as his frustration continues to grow and them not playing well. Does the coach, Doc's got $40 million on his deal. Again, this will be a situation where Giannis has say, hey, Milwaukee, I've given you my champ. I've given you a championship. I've given you MVP. I've given you my heart. It's time for me to make a move. So we'll pay attention to what happens out there in beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Oh, man.
I want you guys to get involved right here. So if Giannis said, hey, I'm up, I want to get out of here, I want you guys to tell me in the comments what team he should go to and what they should trade for him. Man, next up, Anthony Edwards is on a burner, Trev.
Right.
First 10 games of the season. His team's in the middle of the pack, but he's playing extremely well. Career high in points, 28 a game, 6 and 4, shooting 45% from the 3 on nearly 12 attempts a game and making almost 6 threes per game. Right. Teams are going under him. He spoke to that, but thoughts on just his approach. I think he learned a lot from the Olympics this year, being around those older guys and stepping up in those big moments. Thoughts on what Ant's been doing this year and where you see him going?
Yeah, man. I to me personally, I believe he just continues to work on his game. He in the summertime he works hard. His summer probably was cut short because of the Olympics, right. As far as he's worked. But it shows that he's also a student of the game. Getting with guys who shoot the ball really well, getting with guys who know how to score the ball. And what did he do? He got next to those guys. He paid attention to what they did to help them, to help him. Yeah. And ultimately, just being around people like that, that's dangerous for, for a guy like him to pick up, to pick up those traits. So
he spoke to developing his 3-point shot and watching great guys shoot the ball. Steph, KD was one guy he mentioned, but he also mentioned Dame, and he said Dame's style works for him.
And I was talking to KD after a practice, like trying to figure out my footwork for my shot, and that's why my shot was up and down in the Olympics. I was trying to figure out like how I want to learn how to catch and shoot at a higher clip, and I was trying to figure out what type of ways. I watched Dame, I watched Steph, and I watched Klay, and I watched KD, and I tried KD way, it didn't work. I tried Steph way, it didn't work, and then I watched Dame, and then I started doing Dame shot, and it's been working for me. So I think, watching Dame helps me a lot on being able to catch and shoot.
Teams, obviously both of us were defenders. Teams are going under still. If you're someone that, you got Ant tonight, what kind of game plan do you put around trying to guard him?
Man, I think you got to throw different looks at him. With somebody like that, well, where he is right now and what he's doing right now, going under is that you got to scratch that,
right?
Or if you do go under, it got to be like 1 out of 3 out of 7 times.
Mix it up. It can't be a consistent diet.
Right. I would try to not let him get comfortable. I would try to, trap him so somebody else have to make plays. If I do switch, I'm switching up the court to make him go backwards. But going under, you got to get rid of that.
But Trev, this is scary from a standpoint of, Bron has given us flashes of this where he gets on one and you can't go under on him. And if you go over, he's getting downhill and doing whatever. Anthony Edwards is a lot younger, scary. So the fact that now that you're going to have to start switching and giving him different looks and not going under, if he develops a consistent 3-point ball, it's trouble for the league.
Yeah, he's looking at the boogeyman.
The boogeyman. He's on pace. You know, he's on pace to, you know, tap into that 300 threes made, and only 3 other guys have done that. You know what I mean? So if he is someone that can continue this, obviously, I don't know if he'll stay this hot, but I don't see him cooling off too much.
Yeah.
But, you know, he has a chance to eclipse 300. Obviously, Steph is an all-time leader at 402, but if, you know, Ant plays 75 games at this pace, he's going to catch him. So, again, I don't know if he'll stay this hot, but, you know, definitely salute to him. I think he's someone who is a sponge. I think he soaked up all the experience from this year and his urge to be better and get better. You can see that every year, and, you know, that's something you want to see in your star player. Golden State, Trev, off to a nice start. 8-2, number 3 in offense and number 4 in defense. And Steve Kerr has a deep rotation, 10, 11 guys. No one's playing more than 28 minutes a game. Offseason additions have worked. Buddy Hield came over. I think he's the second leading scorer right behind Steph.
Okay, cousin.
Yeah, at 21. That's family?
That's my family.
Y'all from the islands.
Yeah.
Shake Milton shooting the ball well, and obviously Slow-Mo, our UCLA brother. He's, you know, high IQ guy and someone who's plugged right in. Draymond is shooting the ball from 3 at a 45% clip. I think this is kind of an early surprise. I think this team, you know, you saw Klay walk this year, and I think everyone thought that the window had shut. Now, by no means are we saying they're a championship team, but they're definitely off to a great start, and they have some assets. They have some young assets. As we mentioned in the previous clip, no extension for Kuminga. Steph is 36. I don't know. This is not a development time for him. I think you go all in with Steph. If this team continues to play this well, Trev, do you start looking at some of these younger pieces of Kuminga and look to move them and get one more piece so Steph can have another run at 5?
Yeah, I think that this one goes all the way to the deadline.
To the wheels right off, right?
Yeah, you gotta push this all the way through because again, Kuminga is a young player.
Yeah.
He's very important for that team. He's, you know, is he 20?
Baby, 21?
Yeah, 21.
21 years old.
Strong as an ox, very fast. That mid-range is, you know, is nice.
He's going to be a problem. There's no question he's going to be a problem.
So I wouldn't just say, you know what, Steph, I got to trade for you now. I'm going to wait until...
See what happens.
Yeah, see how we look towards the trade deadline and then make a decision on that.
Hats off. You know, there weren't moves that really made moves on the Richter scale or drew a lot of attention. But, you know, Mike Dunleavy and those guys over there made some solid moves for their team. Yeah. You know what I mean? To add a Buddy Hield who's been shooting the ball the way he has and always shot the ball. And then again, a Shake Milton and the experience of a Kyle Anderson. They got pieces that fit. But if they do, you know, we're here to talk about a little bit of what ifs. If they do decide to make a move, do you see anybody out there that's worth, as you said, we know that what Kuminga can be. Yeah. You know, right now he's at 14 points a game, but obviously with more time and experience, and he's still a baby, he can be a 22, 23 point a game scorer. You know, you hear Jimmy Butler in Miami, Zach LaVine, Brandon Ingram is a name who's out there, Kyle Kuzma, Jeremy Grant. You know, Cam Johnson. Is there a guy out there that you would give up if it is a Kuminga at a 20 or 21 years old that you would say like, hey, this is, you know, Steph's last ride. We need to go get somebody. This is who it is. Do you see anybody out there like that right now?
With those names, probably not. I will wait. I will slow down. Again, playing the way that play with that culture is a different culture.
Absolutely.
So, the guys that you name or that we've been talking about or that's out there right now, I don't see how they fit in that space. So I would just slow down.
Pump the brakes.
Yeah.
10 games in. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I mean, I just love what they're doing. Again, that depth. They're playing fast. They're playing intense. They're playing defense again.
Yeah. Keep letting cousin cook over there.
Yeah. Keep shooting that thing, buddy.
Yeah, bro. What how you feel about that? What you think they should do?
Well, it's funny you asked, Trev. No, I mean, I'm on a similar page. I've been a fan of Kuminga. You know, I've been around that team a little bit, and you know, once they say he's locked in mentally, that he's scary. Yeah. We saw all summer the work he's put in. You know, I still think obviously he wants to be a little looser and spread his wings, but that's going to come with time and more development. But I agree. I mean, I think this kid is extremely athletic, very skilled, and young. Yeah. And that's what this league is. So like you said right there with the, you know, the list of guys, with all due respect, no one jumps off the page that says, hey, if we get him, we're going to have a chance at a championship. So
Right.
I think, like you said, I think it's going to be a slow burn. They're going to continue to watch this and continue to monitor and keep everyone at under 28 minutes so people are fresh and see what happens, come February.
Right.
Before we get out of here, Trev, we want to give a shout out to our brother Prime. Coach
Time.
Sanders and what they're doing out there in Colorado, man. 7-2, bowl eligible. If you think Dion came in and took over a 1-12 team and
Crazy.
told a lot of those guys to pack their motherfucking bags, it's time to go.
Holla at you.
It's a new
Giddy
regime. Last year got out the gate strong, went in 4-8, and they were the laughing stock and extremely disrespected this whole offseason. I think every player on that team, including Prime, took that shit and kept receipts.
Right.
And in this year have come out and Shador and Travis Hunter are on some draft boards 1-2. Shador has really shown that it's not a daddy's boy. He could really be out here, and he's one of the, if not the top quarterback in college. So what do you think about the transformation that Dion has brought to Boulder? And not even 2 years. It's the second year isn't even finished, but the way he's turned this program around.
Man, I feel like the only thing you can do is respect it. He's a proven winner. He does it with his guys.
Mm-hmm.
He's an unbelievable recruiter. What I feel like is they got to continue to back the Wells Fargo truck to him. Every time, anywhere he wants to go. With the way that he does things, I feel like it helps and it works. It gives those guys or his players supreme confidence.
Let's take a look ahead. Obviously, the NFL season is in full bloom, right past the midway point. Teams that could be up in that quarterback area. There was talks with Tom Brady. Now he's in the Raiders. Is Shador go to Vegas? You see the Dolphins down there at the bottom. The Giants.
You said it, baby.
Is that what you're looking at? You're a Raider fan, right?
It's only one nation.
Yeah, that's it. That's where
one.
you see it happening. The fix is on. That's why Brady moved into his position.
Gotta be.
So Shador is the Las Vegas Raiders starting quarterback next year.
Where else would he go?
I ain't mad at that.
We need him back.
I ain't mad at that. One question though. Obviously, Prime has built this, and he did his thing at Jackson State.
Yeah.
His sons will both be gone after this season. You look at his alma mater, 1-9 over at Florida State. Does he bounce, go to the NFL, or does he stay and continue to build this Colorado program? Obviously, this is a guess, and none of us know, and I wish him well on whatever decision, because he's proven that he could do whatever the fuck he wants. Right. He wins. So
right. From the looks of the way Coach Prime moves, he does things with love and from his heart
and God.
And God. So with his kids, not being in college, maybe the next step for him is, like we've been mentioning, is going to his alma mater, because again, there's love there, there's a connection. Maybe that's something he does, or do what he's been doing and go to the next level, coach his son. Or Colorado, we need to renegotiate and continue to.
I think they're going to have to back the Brinks truck up.
So
we see what Micah Parsons over there in Dallas said about his coach. No one is happy over in Dallas. Could we see Prime step up and put that star back on his hat?
Man, we've seen crazier things before. So
for sure.
I mean, anything. There's nothing out of the possibility of what could happen. So again, I feel like if it makes sense for him, if it makes sense for what he's doing, anything is possible. As
KG said, anything is possible. Right. Trev, before we get out of here, our boys match up next week.
Oh, yeah.
Westchester versus Crespi. How did it feel to have Taj go back to your alma mater? Obviously, he didn't start there. Westchester has a legacy of, putting guys in the league. Your son is a top 10 player in his class. What did it mean for you personally for him to go back there?
For me personally, I don't know, man. I just feel like I don't really care.
It's him
like that. Yeah, it's his journey. What he wants to do is what he wants to do. So it's cool. It's familiar. So it's a good thing. But for me, where he goes to school or what he wants to do is really up to him. But the fact that he did choose to go there and he wants to be there, in a different way, it kind of helps us get closer.
Dope. We match up November 20th. Actually, it's not next week. It's in 2 weeks. November 20th. Is that next week? Week and a half.
Next week.
Yeah. Damn. It's always
Time is moving fast.
Yeah, man. We're almost in December.
Yeah.
We in the new building though. The shit still look like it's new, but stuff is coming. We're gonna build this thing up. But yeah, man, Westchester and Crespi, November 20th. Looking forward to that. Trey, I appreciate your time,
What
bro.
up?
You know you want those Wingstop boneless wings. With the boneless meal deal from Wingstop, you get 20 boneless wings, 4 delicious flavors, an order of large hand-cut fries for $16.99. Mango habanero, OG hot, and my favorite, lemon pepper. What are y'all waiting on? More wings, more flavor, more bang for your buck. The boneless meal deal from Wingstop. Order now at wingstop.com. Valid at participating locations for a limited time on orders for pickup and delivery placed at wingstop.com or the Wingstop app. Prices may be higher in Alaska or California and Hawaii. See wingstop.com/offers for full details. I want to welcome in my brother Andre Ward, Chief Content Creator over here at All The Smoke Fight. Dre, the city's buzzing, the country's buzzing. Mike Tyson, Jake Paul in a few days. Talk to us about this, man. I was someone who, obviously, I'm a purist. I love boxing, but I'm really excited about this fight for some reason.
Man, it's the Mike Tyson effect. I'm just gonna put it like that. And I think you also got to give credit to Jake Paul too, because he got his own lane, he's got his own buzz and his own fan base. Man, Mike is 58 years old, man, as we know. But anytime Mike is doing something fight related, like he just draws a crowd. It just is what it is. So this is no different. Mike got me believing that he ready to turn back the clock and take care of business on Friday.
I feel the same way,
man. So listen, I'm a bit nervous because I can't, I'm not gonna forget about the age, even though he's feeling good. And Jake Paul, if he can do nothing else, he can hit. But that's still Mike Tyson, though.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel the body movement, the head movement, the body shots that Mike is going to deliver. Like, I just don't, Jake hasn't fought someone, even though Mike is this old, I still don't feel like he's fought someone this fast and this skilled. Obviously Mike was the baddest motherfucker on the planet for a long time. And when I see him work out at 58, I still get kind of butterflies like, Mike can still fuck people up.
Nah, he still got it. He still got a lot of what he had. And the only issue though is, it's the receiving end. It's receiving and punching. It's the reflexes. So when as a fighter, I'm thinking, okay, can Mike get out the way of some of them big right hands of Jake Paul? That's my biggest question. But I think the offense will be there. Not as good as it used to be, but it'll still be there. And they say even when a fighter gets older, the power is the last thing to go. So we know that power is going to be there for sure.
I mean, that's like riding a bike, man. So very interesting festivities coming up here in Dallas. You guys will be out there alongside of us. Talk to us about what you're going to be doing with the fight and Netflix.
Well, man, we gonna set up, obviously All The Smoke basketball, All The Smoke fight. We're gonna be in Dallas, doing what we do. Fight night, I'll be at the desk with Kate and the rest of the team. I don't know. They got a couple of celebrities they said they're gonna have come through. They're not revealing who it's gonna be just yet. Our man Roy Jones will be ringside. And it just is what it is, right? You got some people that are like, this should be boycotted. Well, this is crazy. It's like, it is what it is. It's an exhibition between two guys. We know who Jake is. We know who Mike is. They're coming together. If you love fighting, this is something that and I'm the purest of the pure, but I'm going to watch. That's somebody I grew up watching. I want to see what's going to happen because I love to see fighting. You hope everybody comes out safe, but man, we're just going to be talking about the event for what it is.
Absolutely. Thoughts on Netflix jumping into this fighting space? Although this is an exhibition, streaming is going crazy right now. We could see them take a more, concrete role in this space. No more Showtime, no more HBO. Obviously, ATSP is in the building. But thoughts on Netflix kind of jumping in this space and what you could possibly see them doing in the fight space?
I love it. I think it's can only help the sport. The big dogs, as you mentioned, Showtime and HBO, they bowed out. Not happy about that. But, all good things come to an end at a certain point. You see this new blood coming in, the streaming services and these different platforms. And I love it because it brings about different audiences, people who are not diehards, but maybe casuals or maybe, they just casually watch a fight. They will potentially tune in because they're curious and hopefully we keep them as fans.
I want to back up a little bit. You had sat down with Mike, and I know those numbers are running up right now. What was that like? I know you were excited about that. I was excited to
Man.
hear that you had locked him in, man. So what was it like sitting down with Iron Mike?
Oh man, it was everything I thought it was gonna be and a little bit more. I'm like, I get excited for interviews, but not like that. The night before, I'm locked in, got my questions, and but I can't sleep, man. I feel like I'm about to fight tomorrow. I'm like, man,
Right.
what's going
Game
on?
day.
I'm
Yes,
like, man,
sir.
what's this feeling
Right.
that I'm feeling? And then Mike comes in the room. I got my back turned. I turn around, see Mike come in the room, get ready to sit down and do the interview. Man, this dude come in there looking like a little lion, man. I'm talking about like the look, the feel, the aura, the everything. And in that moment, and I don't scare too easily. And I ain't saying I was scared, but what I'm saying is I understand being in his
Right.
presence because I haven't
Come
spent a
on,
lot of
man.
time around Mike. I understand why he intimidated a lot of grown men in the 80s and in the 90s coming up. I get it now.
Like you said, it's that Mike Tyson effect 30 years later. You know what I mean? It's still something about him. I got a chance to do some work with him and co-host his show, and obviously it was a relaxed setting, but it was still that Mike glow about him.
Yeah.
It's just different. It's official. We've signed Roy Jones as a part of the All The Smoke Fight family. Really excited about that. I know you got a chance to go out there and mess around with him in Pensacola a few weeks ago. Talk to us about this signing and what you guys kind of have in store for All The Smoke Fight going forward.
I mean, it makes no sense for a boxing brain that smart and a sports fan, but Roy is all things sports. He's college, football, basketball, pro football, basketball, and obviously boxing. So there's no reason a great mind like that should be on the sidelines. He took some time off of HBO, and now he's back. And I think me and Roy have natural chemistry. That's somebody I grew up. That's my favorite fighter of all time. Know everything about him, respect him. But it's not just the boxing part. It's the mind. It's the way that he thinks. And when I talk to Roy, even Roy being in his 50s now, he's still very sharp. He understands the game, and he's tuned in with the younger generation, which is what we need here on All The Smoke. We're not the older guys that's like,
Right.
back in my day. You're going to lose people thinking like that and talking like that. Roy's tapped in with present day, and I think, man, the fans are excited about it. When we announced it, everybody was up in arms about it, man, and we're going to give them what they're looking for.
Absolutely. Dre, I'm not going to let you get out of here without giving me a prediction. Before you do, I just want to give a big shout out to Jake Paul, too. I think obviously we talked a lot about Mike, but I love what Jake's been able to do in this space. Hate him or love him. This guy draws eyeballs, and he's taking this boxing shit serious, and he's showing he continues to get better. So before we get out of here, give me your prediction.
I'm going to say this real quick before the prediction. I second what you say, about Jake Paul, because people get mad at him, but you can't hate what he's doing, right?
He's working, man.
He was in a whole other industry, and he brought his fan base over here. I respect that. Number two, he's around real boxing people. I know the people that's in his camp. He's taking the black eyes. He's taking the shiners. He's trying to figure this thing out, and what he's doing is successful. So you got to respect that, even if you don't like him. Man, prediction, man, I'm going with Iron Mike Tyson because it's Iron Mike Tyson. But early on, Mike's going to have the edge and Jake has to be careful because Mike does have that punch and he will be fresh. As the fight wears on, it leans more in Jake's favor because the age will kick in. The reflexes are a little bit not what they used to be. And I'm telling you, Jake Paul is not trying to win a decision.
He's trying to knock Mike's head off.
Listen to me. Jake Paul wants to knock Mike Tyson out because he wants to be able to say, I did something that not a few men in history have ever done. People will say, oh, the age, Jake don't care about that. If he can get Mike on the canvas and knock him out, he's going to go for it, bro. So I'm nervous, bro. I'm just going to tell you. I'm nervous.
I'm nervous and I'm excited. But Andre, I appreciate your time, man. We'll see you in Dallas this week.
Appreciate you, brother. Anytime.
So before we get out of here, let me give you guys my picks for the week. I wouldn't call it a tough week. I mean, it wasn't a losing week. It wasn't my best week. I mean, I went 4-0, and then last week I was 1-1. So I sit at 5-1-1. So I mean, I'm off to not a bad start. But we got some good games this week. Starting off with the Commanders at the Eagles, Thursday night game. I'm gonna take the Eagles -3. They just smacked the motherfucking Cowboys. So I don't see them slowing down. Young, tough Commanders team who had a tough loss to the Steelers, but I got Eagles -3. Next up, Steelers at the Ravens. I'm going to take the Ravens -3. I think the Ravens are on a mission. Lamar Jackson's numbers are better than they have been in his MVP seasons. He's playing well. Big Derrick Henry is out there doing his thing, so I'm a big fan of the Ravens. Chiefs at the Bills, the rematch. It's Bills -2.5. I'm taking Mahomes. They had a scare. Some people say the fix was in last game when they got that field goal, but we're going to leave that alone. They were able to, get through Denver, still sitting undefeated. So, I'm going to take them. I'm going to take the Chiefs plus 2.5 in nasty Buffalo. And last but not least, my 49ers are starting to get healthy. I already told you guys we're going to win the NFC West. Seattle is coming to town. It's the Niners minus 6.5. And that's what I'm going to take. So, see how we do. Stay locked in. You guys enjoy your week. So one last thing. I got a chance to go out to Atlanta and moderate a panel for my brother Jerry Lorenzo on Fear of God and OTE as they welcome the new OTE Athletics into the OTE League. It's a Fear of God team brought to you by my guy Jerry. Man, he might have something with these shoes. I mean, here go the shoes. These aren't available till December, so I got these things a little early. But these are dope. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, they got some Fear God ones in them, so a little taste of the Nike vibe they had. The high top boys right here. I'm interested to see. I'm actually get these on the court in the old man games we play. But we got the mids right here. Super comfortable. I've already worn them. I think these are dope, man. I definitely think this is one of the better looking Adidas shoes we've seen. I'm going to see how they function. But I think Gabe Vincent wears these, right, Gino? For the Lakers, obviously. Yeah, they've done some stuff in college. So, congratulations. I was at this panel. I'm a big, obviously, dad and coach, and you don't normally see this kind of collab in the grassroots. So I really want to shout Jerry and Adidas out for the collaboration with OTE and another dope shoe, man. So yeah, you guys can get these in December. Jerry, you got my address and my sizes down, so I feel like I'm a part of the Fear God family. Don't forget about your boy. The holidays are coming. Well, thank you guys for joining us this week. You guys can catch this on the DraftKings Network and the All The Smoke Productions YouTube, man. We'll catch you guys next week.